We're live. Man, took forever to make that happen. Cool. Righty. We are live, people. We're live. Live, and we're about to thrive. Okay. Here's what we got going on. All right, we got him. We got everybody. How y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? You guys doing good? Doing great? Got my piece of paper, ready to rock and roll. Okay. So you guys are probably wondering who I am. So my name is Roy. I am the communications coach, the best, I believe, or about to be one of the most influential people on planet Earth, right? So what I do basically in a nutshell, folks, is that I help anybody out there, all walks of life, helping with CEOs, C-suite executives, people like yourselves to help get you bigger, faster, stronger in your communication skills. You want to get better in presentations? I got you. You want to get better in your meetings? I got you. You want to help with your relationships, how to talk to people, how to make friends, how to master a stranger? Guys, right here, I got you. And today, I'm going to be going over a lot of Q&A stuff, right? A lot of questions, a lot of things that you guys have been asking me about for such a long time. And I've been doing this for quite some time, but I decided we're gonna go into it live so you guys can see how everything works out, all right? So without further ado, actually, before we get started, if you guys can do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button for anybody else out there that may need this to help get you guys seeing these videos to help everybody, including yourselves, get bigger, faster, stronger in your communication skills. Without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get into it. So first up, oh man, that's way better. Okay, so first question, what do we got? First question, fire it off. Actually, don't need this right here. So first question here is, what makes somebody instantly sound confident? There's a lot of things, okay? You have a few out there that are extroverted, okay? People out there, and you guys know this, like your friends Barry or Jennifer or somebody that you know that's super popular, that they've been doing it for such a long time. They're naturally born speakers, as you guys know. Now, they weren't born that way. First thing you guys got to understand is, to be a great communicator, you got to be in that environment. Okay, you have to be in that environment where it pushes you to start talking to people. For example, if you live in a city that has a bunch of people around, you cannot be introverted. I'm telling you this right now. Being introverted, folks, is going to be the death of you, okay? When you were born, I don't care if you were born yesterday. Well, you wouldn't be watching this if you were born yesterday. I don't care if you were born 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, in any era, okay? Every single kid, every single baby that came out of their mother's womb were crying. They were loud, okay? Some louder than others, but they came out screaming. They said, "World, here I am, watch me roar." Now, as we get older, what ends up happening is that we start listening to our parents. We start being surrounded by our environment and teaching us how to be quiet, okay? Now, I don't believe in anarchy, without a shadow of a doubt. We need some stability. We need some people, or we need rules in order to function as a society. But for yourself, just know there's nothing wrong with being the loudest person. Or in this case, there's nothing wrong with being able to express yourself and talk and speak your own opinions on things, okay? Very, very important. There's nothing wrong. Actually, as a matter of fact, there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. There's not. And somebody that can instantly sound confident is their environment, right? So I would suggest, for most of you guys out there right now, guys, girls, guys and gals, whoever, if you guys are trying to become better communicators, if you want to instantly sound more confident, you got to practice. okay? Especially like in a room that I'm in right now. There's nobody here, but as soon as somebody comes in here, I have to literally kick it down a couple of notches because, I want to be respectful. But at the same time, I want to be this loud. And the reason why is because when you're this loud, you sound confident. You see what I mean? So if you want to instantly sound more confident, folks, 3 things, okay? Number 1, you got to be in an environment where it forces you to become extroverted. You're going to have to, okay? There are going to be times where you're like, man, I don't even want to sound like this. But you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Because to get what you want out of life, folks, to get exactly what you want out of life, you cannot be just another average person, as I'm pointing around, right? You cannot be the average person. We got 4 billion people in this world. Do you guys understand that? 4 billion people, okay? And only a few get exactly what they want. And in order for you to get exactly what you want, you're gonna have to upgrade, all right? Upgrade your communication skills. So environment, change it. Start practicing, okay? Especially here. Just pretend you're even talking to yourself. You can even do that in your room. And thirdly, you got to go out in the wild, okay? Environment, practice, go out in the wild, crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn, and get better at it, okay? So that's one of the things to instantly sound confident. You got to do those 3 things. All right, second thing, so that was the first one. Second question, let's see here. How do you speak with authority without sounding arrogant? Folks, I'm going to be completely honest with you right now. This person asked, how do you speak with authority without sounding arrogant? The reality is you're not going to please everybody, okay? If you're trying to please everybody, you're going to please no one. You cannot keep that amongst yourselves. That right there is already killing our communication, folks. Do you guys understand that? A lot of the things that we do now is we're always careful about what we say or what we do, and we don't want to be disrespectful, right? But in the end, us, right, in here, we are our worst enemy. So, how do you speak with authority without sounding arrogant? Folks, I don't think that's a problem that you have. If anything, you don't speak with enough volume. Now, most people say, well, when I sound this loud, Roy, I sound like I'm arrogant. Okay, cool. And you want to know what's crazy about having that feeling of arrogance? Because you're going to have to anyways, okay? When you do that, you're going to start seeing 3 things, or actually a multitude of things, but I'm going to start naming them off. Number 1, people are going to start going to you for questions, okay? For their questions, for you to provide an answer. Second thing, they're going to see you being this confident person, okay? Not everybody's going to see it. Some people are going to make you sound, they're going to think that you're negative. Now, I'll give you an example. When I visited my dad in Florida, right? Certain things happened with where I was at. This was before I joined the Navy. And when I started talking to this girl that I was working with, everybody saw me as this prick. This person that was just like, who does this guy think he is? He's just going in here and he's just trying to riz, right? That's what you guys call it these days, but was trying to talk to this girl. Now, I talked to this girl, and this girl that really didn't like me, and it's fine, right? But I had the confidence, so at least had the balls, the gall to go up and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Roy. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And we were speaking. I don't know if it was just my demeanor, my tone, whatever it is. I'm still trying to figure it out. But a lot of people didn't like me. But it's fine, though, okay? And here's the thing that you guys need to understand. Especially, and I'm going to go off of left field here, if you're trying to build a brand, you can either be liked or you can be hated. But it's better not to be ignored, okay? I think there was a certain somebody that said that. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to figure that out some other time. But yes, if you want to speak with authority without sounding arrogant, guys, that question right there, reframe it to, how can I speak with more authority, right? Because here's the thing, authority and arrogance come in hand. Some people are going to see you as a grade A-hole anyways, right? So the best way to think about it is, don't even think about it. What you need to understand is, how can I get more people's attention. Okay, don't worry about arrogance. You can deal with that later. That's another problem for another day, but you guys are not in a situation that people are going to see you as arrogant. But once you start getting that hate, just like when people make YouTube videos, as soon as you start getting that hate, that's when you know you're doing something good. Because now somebody had the time to go to your YouTube channel or go to your comment box and explain to you how ugly you are, how you sound like an idiot or any of these things. That's when you know you're capturing their attention, okay? So don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Man, I'm fired up today. I don't even know how much time, what time is it right now? Oh boy. This will tell me where we at, folks. This should tell me how much time I got before we start going into it. Okay, so we're 11 minutes in. Okay, not bad. We're gonna try to make this like a 30-minute stream today because I want to help you guys. You know what I mean? I want to be able to help you guys. Let's see here. We're just gonna go down the list. Okay, let me get some coffee real quick and then we'll get into it. Man, guys, type it on the comments below. Type on the comments below. Biggest struggles, even on the stream, folks. Tell me exactly what's going on right now. Right? So, why do some people become the center of attention naturally? So, becoming the center of attention, folks, is by design. They've been doing it for such a long time. They've been practicing it, okay? I'll give you an example. A lot of people, now, I used to be this way, and it sometimes comes out every now and then. Depends on who I'm with, right? When you're introverted, okay, you're not naturally introverted. The reality is that you have been introverted your whole life because you've practiced that behavior. Do you guys understand that? When you were at one point, you had to have been told, don't do this, don't do that, be respectful, use your inside voice, do all these things, right? Nothing wrong with that. But the downfall to that, folks, is that it makes you more introverted, okay? And I'm gonna say this for a fact because it is a known fact. Being Asian, for all you Asian people out there, I don't care, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Filipino, whatever, Vietnamese, you guys all know the Asian household is exactly the same, right? Only speak when being spoken to, be quiet, be civilized, don't be loud, don't do any of these things, just be an upstanding citizen, okay? Nothing wrong with that. The only problem, wow, I sound like I was underwater. The only problem with that, folks, is that when you do that, you practice becoming an introvert, okay? Now, to become the center of attention, you're gonna have to stand out like a sore thumb, okay? I'll give you an example. You gotta do much more than just speak, okay? Now we tell people this all the time. You gotta have the complete package, especially if you're trying to make a first impression, okay? There was a book that I read, very similar to a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I think this person wrote a different version of that book. And I gotta remember who wrote it, but it was like an orange book. Anyways, this person decided to do something completely different from all of the people that came to this networking event. What he decided to do was he decided to dress up. Okay, now, you guys are probably wondering, well, everybody dresses up, right? Well, he dressed up, but the one thing that he changed, that he knew that he would stand out like a sore thumb, and guys, hit me up on the comments below telling me what that could possibly be. What he changed, what he decided to do was wear a pair of shoes that was, I think, bright orange. Okay, not a subtle, not a blend in your type of color with your suit color. It is a color that stands out where it's like, look at me, I'm loud. It was a very loud orange color. okay? Super orange. I think it was brighter than the sun. I believe that's what it was. And so he wore that in an event. So anytime he went anywhere, the first thing that most people looked at that just blew people's minds was the shiny orange shoes. And so when he had a conversation, he was able to have conversations with more people. He was able to establish and get more contacts, and he was memorable. And so he became the center of attention. So the majority of people, when they decided to connect with him, they remembered the guy with the orange shoes, right? Or the orange shoes, plural, shoes. So what I'm saying is, if you want to stand out, and I know this goes beyond the question, but if you want to become the center of attention, you're gonna have to be different from everybody else. It could be an orange jacket. It could be an orange hat. I mean, just be mindful of the networking event that you're in. You're gonna have to wear a color that stands out. That's number one. Or have something different, right? But make it tasteful. I don't know if that's the right word, but make it to where people will remember you by, and you will become the center of attention. And I'm telling you, when you do that, just make sure that if you are going to wear a specific color that is going to match your brand that you're going to move forward with for the rest of your life, okay? So make sure to do that. Man, these questions are pretty good here, folks. What else we got? Q&A. All right. Next one, why do managers fail to communicate clearly? So why do managers fail to communicate clearly? The thing is, most often is managers communicate because of that sense of urgency, right? And here's how it normally works, folks. And I'll just give you a sense in business, okay? I'm just gonna keep it super simple, okay? Every single business, I don't care if it's in North America, South America, Asia, Africa, whichever continent in the whole wide world. At the end of the day, businesses are there to make money, okay? I'll give you a simple example. Corporate, okay, let's use a make-believe thing. Let's say clothing brand, okay? Let's call it ABC Clothing Brand. ABC Clothing Brand, all the all the higher ups that are high up there, they're like, we need to sell, let's say 1,000 shirts for their entire year. And we're hoping to make millions of dollars. Let's just say 1 million, right? But we want to sell at least, let's just say 100,000 shirts, okay? They communicate that to the people below them, okay? And they communicate that to the people below them. And then so on and so forth. You notice people from the top communicate, and then it goes to this person, and this person, this person, right? So it's like CEO, and then COO or whoever, marketing team that goes to the regional manager, that goes to the manager, that goes to the supervisor, that goes to the people towards the bottom, and the people towards the bottom below them. And it's just, that's the breakdown in communication. It's literally like the game of telephone, right? But as it trickles down, the messages become more urgent. But the problem with urgent messages is that people don't understand it, right? The reason why managers, like this question's asked, why managers fail, or why managers fail to communicate clearly, is because they're always in so much stress, right? Because it's not just one thing that they have to put out. There's a lot of things other than the goal, right? Certain things happen, like they failed an inspection, they had a pissed off employee, they have a pissed off customer, they had somebody else that they had to deal with, they had to hear their boss yell at them for something crazy, they have to deal with something where the accounting department is trying to figure out why people didn't sign in correctly and payroll and all this other stuff, right? And that's the reason why most managers fail, because they're focused on so many things. Now, managers, this is for you. If you decide, okay, if you know for a fact your message is not getting across to to your employees. First and foremost, I need you guys to slow down, okay? And ask questions, especially when you have your meetings, right? I always coach this with my clients, with my clientele, with the businesses that they run. The most important conversations to have. And think of your communication, your meetings and everything else like a conversation, right? There shouldn't be someone like myself that's doing this Q&A right now that's literally talking 99.9% of the time, right? Unless I'm teaching something, right? If I'm doing a meeting and I'm explaining my results and all these other things, it should be a back and forth, no matter who it is. I don't care if it's the person that is above me or the person that is 8 notches below me, okay? Everybody's input is important. And here's the crazy part. When you get everybody involved, their input and how they feel and what they say, because they're down in the trenches while the other people here only know the numbers, right? Like the higher ups and the C-suite executives. There has to be a conversation between upper management and lower management, and then the workers that work around them, right? It doesn't have to feel like this corporate structure where people are afraid to talk. And that's the problem. Everybody towards all the workers that are non-managers, they are afraid to talk because they don't either want to get fired or they feel like people up here are going to look at them like they're stupid and they're going to think, well, no crap, Sherlock, we already figured that out. You know, and here's another thing too. If you want to drop your turnover, okay, you need your people to participate. Give them the wheel. Meaning that I'll give you an example. If you guys are talking about, let's say, hey, we're trying to sell 100 pieces, or we're trying to sell 100 shirts, but we were only able to get 50, right? That means we couldn't sell the other 50. So I'm just kind of trying to figure this out, folks. Now I'm acting as a manager, right? Let's say I do my meeting and I'm like, okay, so guys, we fell short of our 100 goal or 100 shirts being sold for the week, right? For whatever reason it is, look, I want everybody to be completely honest with me because at the end of the day, we're here to get better, okay? I want you guys to get better. I want to get better. I want to be able to figure out what's going on because at the end of the day, most of you guys are out here in the trenches. You can see what's going on in real time. I can't see that. So I need to figure out why we're not selling these shirts, right? So, and don't be shy. Show of hands. How many people think that we could do better? Raise them, right? Raise your hand. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to go around the room and look, it's a conversation. Okay, there's no right or wrong answers here. I just need you guys to tell me in real time, like what's going on, why we're not able to sell these shirts, right? And then you just go. And when you guys turn it into a conversation, like for example, if I go to one person and this person says, well, Roy, the reason why we're not able to sell shirts is because, to be honest, when I see people look at the shirts, they look at them for about a couple of seconds and are like, right? So I think that the appeal, I don't think they like the shirts very much. And then, when they see the sell section, they're not even going for that either. And they're like, okay, so it's something like that, right? Cool. So what I want you guys to do, I'm glad you brought that up. What we're going to start doing is we're going to start having conversations with the customers, right? Even though they're looking, right? Something as simple as this. Let's say somebody looks at a shirt. They look at a shirt and they're like, oh, okay, and they just put it back, right? You just go back to them and just, make it funny, make it fun. Just be like, oh man, that color. I don't think that color suits you, huh? I can tell by your reaction, right? And you're just like, they're like, huh? And they're like, yeah, looks like you don't like that shirt, And they're just like, yeah. I'm like, so, like, what is it that you're technically looking for, right? Are you looking for something more going out, more casual? Like, maybe I can help you, right? And that customer, that prospect is going to give you the answers to the test. And when they do, you can be like, okay, cool. It's like, what is it that you think most people would go for? Well, and then they tell you exactly, oh, maybe the color's got to be a little less conservative, maybe more shorts, maybe more tank top shirts because, it's summertime. We don't need long sleeves, these sort of things, right? And then when you get that input, then you start taking that input, the company takes that input, and then they're able to create something different, put it back out in the shelves, or put it out in the shelves. Then guess what? Now the increase of now the shirts being sold, you're going to see an increase in that because you're giving exactly people with what they want, right? And that's how it should be, folks. A conversation, all right? So anytime you have your meetings, especially managers, make it a conversation, okay? Don't make it about you, and you. Tell me exactly what's going wrong. No, make it a conversation, man. Like you guys are just, a bunch of friends having a beer, or, just make it super casual so that way it kind of reduces the tension, right? Reduces the tension. All right, where am I at right now? I'm pretty sure I'm already, that's only like 4 questions. Oh man, if you guys are liking this, man, hit on the comments below. Make sure, oh my gosh, where are you at? Oh, 26 minutes. Make sure to hit give me more because, would like to help you guys out, give you some more. All right, we're gonna go with a couple of more questions here and then we're gonna end the stream. Okay, next one. Why are people afraid of public speaking? Why are people afraid of public speaking? Okay, again, they're introverted. They've been practicing being introverted their entire lives. It's true, okay? Anywhere you go to the library, you gotta be quiet. You go to a movie theater, you gotta be quiet. You go to a store, you can't yell, right? Now, I'm not saying you should go out there and start yelling, but because you practice it so much, the environment that you go into, when you actually start doing something, what an extrovert is naturally doing, it makes public speaking tough, right? So here's one thing that I would do. I need you guys, first and foremost, okay, when you increase your volume, the best thing to do is to go out with friends. The best thing that you can do is go out with friends. And I need you guys to be aware when you're speaking to your friends, right? Be at a place where there's loud music playing, loud conversation, because what that's going to do is it's going to force you to up your volume, your game. So that way, if your friends go, huh? Oh, I'm doing good, Yeah, everything is great. Oh, how was work? Oh man, work, it's work. Tell me more, right? And it's forcing you guys to up the volume. And so that way, when you do public speaking, okay, especially when you increase your volume, you're gonna find that you're not gonna be afraid to be in front of anybody anymore. Because the louder you speak, all right, the more confident you're gonna feel, all right? This is gonna be debatable. I know some people are gonna say, well, no, Roy, that's not true. I'm telling you this right now. If I were to speak like this, and I tell you guys, this is what you should do, right? If I talk like this, especially with this whole thing, and I did my streams like this, I feel like I'm afraid, right? Because I'm using my inside voice. But if there's a bunch of people here, right? Now, I can keep it up louder, like right now, this is a good volume. Now, what would sound arrogant is if I start speaking like this, because now I'm actually bringing it up and I can tell that on this screen that shows where the meter's going from green to red being the loudest, that I'm saying things too loud, like I'm speaking in a stadium, which is not what I need to do. Like this is natural, right? Because I've been doing this for a long time. So folks, the first thing that you can do, there's a bunch of ways I can teach you guys how to do this, right? Make sure to subscribe to my videos, first and foremost, if you guys want to learn how to become better speakers in public speaking, or if you want to be better in your meetings, or if you want to be able to have better conversations. You want to be able to watch those videos and take things from them. But the one thing that I can tell you right now, in order to help you guys with public speaking, first and foremost, learn to increase your volume, okay? That's number one, Okay, so make sure to do that. Go out with friends, have more conversations, be interested, listen to what they have to say, and then give an answer out. That's the best thing that you guys can do, okay? Increase that volume by going out with your friends where there's loud music and there's loud conversations, okay? All right. Last but not least, we're gonna go with one more question because we've been going over. Digital communication. Okay. Let's do 62. Let's see here. How does communication affect content creation? Good question. Like what I'm doing right now. Communication is huge, guys. There's so many things to become different from everybody else, right? Now, a lot of communication coaches, I'll just use my industry as an example. They're kind of like, okay, guys, today we're going to talk about communication, and I'm going to help you guys become better communicators, better speakers. And I just want to let you know that I'm excited to be here, right? When you hear that, I sound like a teacher, right? Like and I'm just using like a monotone voice, right? So I don't want to speak like that. Like you guys, as soon as you hear the previous guy that was speaking, if you heard that, you know what will end up happening? Scroll, or end video, go somewhere else, right? You guys want somebody that's in your face, that's loud, that's different, that's able to get at you and say, hey, bro, hey, chick, listen to me. You need this. Hello. You know what I mean? Content creation, communication. And I can tell you right now, we are saturated. We probably have the most content creators today than we did last year and the year before. And it's only growing. And for you guys to go out there, right? And I see this all the time, especially with ads. When I see this, hey guys, if you want to be like this is what you got to do. Which some people have great volume, but some of them kind of like, hey guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to become better speakers online, and here's how we're going to do it. You notice how my face was like this, right? And there's so much going on where if you put in your facial expressions, your hand gestures, all these things, it's going to really help with what you guys are doing, okay? So communication is not just words. It's also it's also your reaction and how your face reacts to the camera, as well as your hand gestures. There's so many things, and then body language as well, which we're going to be able to go over in future videos. So just know that it's just not one facet, but multiple facets and elements that could actually make you a better content creator, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more minutes do we got here, folks? Really appreciate you guys being here right now. And again, once again, if you guys can do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, so that way you guys can get bigger, faster, stronger in your communication skills, and you'll be able to find those videos when they are posted. Because the worst thing you can do is look for communications. You get all these people that will help you, which they're great, by the way, but you need somebody that's going to be able to be in your corner and help you guys with real life scenarios, right? Which is me. But let's see how many more minutes that we got, or are we already done for the day? All right, so it's 33 minutes, folks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 5. So that was 6 questions for today. If you guys missed half of this or even the first 5 minutes, I encourage you, rewind it back, watch it, watch the questions, see the answers I give. And until next time, I will see all of you, including yourself, on the next live. Until then, peace out. Cool. Yes, sir. We got it to end. Cool. I love that.